Hey guys, it's me again, Nova, the edgy karate guy, your Tekken buddy. As you guys know, and for those who don't know, this video is part of the Saving Tekken 8 project, a dedicated playlist where I showcase the mistakes of modern Tekken in terms of design philosophy in forensic detail, and how can we achieve a more legitimate and fulfilling Tekken experience for the future. For a long time already, I have been covering what is, to me, absolutely the most critical issue of Tekken 8. That is, sabotaged backwards movement. The incapacity to create essential whiffs, to be able to disengage from your opponent and play on different, desirable ranges according to the matchup. But it is finally time to talk about lateral movement. Because guys, I'm so sick and tired of hearing so much lies and misinformation on this matter. You see, when you try to explain to the masses that Tekken 8 is deeply flawed and not a legitimate Tekken experience as it currently stands, you'll often be faced with bullshit like this, and this, and this, and this. According to these people, the fact that you can't move backwards properly to create whiffs in Tekken 8 is supposedly, quote-unquote, compensated by a much better lateral movement than Tekken 7. But is it? Is that really the case? Well, it pains my heart to inform you guys that no, that is absolutely not the case. You have been deceived by the mainstream Tekken influencers. The silly idea that Tekken 8 lateral movement is universally better than Tekken 7, which by the way, is part of the problem. Don't you ever assume I'm an advocate for Tekken 7. There's no one advocating for Tekken 7 here because Tekken 7 is modern Tekken. It is the literal advent of modern Tekken, and you can find more about it here. But I digress. This godforsaken claim that Tekken 8 lateral movement is universally better than Tekken 7 and that it is universally a more effective defensive option is a lie. And what makes it even worse is that this lie is being used as a damn shield for these people to advocate for the current state of Tekken 8. The problem with these lies is that they are so insidious and pervasive that, when repeated long enough by the self-proclaimed authority figures in the Tekken community, they lead into a false consensus, and they cloud the community from asking the right questions and having an honest discussion about the issues of Tekken 8. The thing is, this lie didn't come out of nowhere. The people that categorically made this claim in order to advocate for Tekken 8 and turn it into a false consensus, these people have names and quite possibly underlying reasons for making these claims to advocate for this game that go beyond the game itself. Reasons that are up to you, the spectator, to speculate. It's not up to me to judge their reasons. All I'm saying is, you have been lied to. And now, I'm taking it upon myself to prove it. The truth is, Tekken 8 lateral movement is occasionally better than Tekken 7 in some situations, but also much worse than Tekken 7 in many situations. And as the icing on the cake, Tekken 8 lateral movement doesn't come nowhere near a traditional Tekken experience when it comes to lateral movement. It still has a long way to go before people can use the existence of a supposed effective lateral movement as leverage to advocate for sabotaged backwards movement in Tekken 8. It's not even close to what it's supposed to be. Now that we have established the groundwork, let's prove you've been lied to. Tekken 8 lateral movement is not the effective wonder they told you it is. and it is not better than Tekken 7 lateral movement, not necessarily. Let us start with small Tekken. Male characters can struggle to evade jabs in Tekken 8. That wasn't the case in Tekken 7. Here's the Mishima Flash Punch, the absolute best move in the Tekken franchise, period. Now, imagine a reanimated Flash Punch that will fully track the Mishima's weak side. Sounds crazy, right? Well, it would be a damn shame if that was exactly what happened in Tekken 8. Characters that should not ever have a G-clef jab string for obvious balancing reasons not only received a G-clef, but a tracking one at that. In Tekken 8, you can have a lockdown situation from a 13 frames regular down forward one check. King down forward 1 follow-up received a new animation. This new follow-up, unlike the previous, has an anti-movement property, fully tracking you to both sides, being a new animation that implies intentional design. In Tekken 8 we have 12 frames, safe mids, many moves of this specific archetype, tracking to one side. That wasn't the case in any other Tekken before Tekken 8. Lee down forward 4 is specifically designed to cover his weak side. Sidestep left, sidewalk left. Turns out in Tekken 8, you can't sidewalk it to the right as well. Xiaoyu back 4 was a small poke specifically designed to cover her weak side. But it only covered her weak side, and that's about it. Now, in Tekken 8, precisely where it becomes her key, most powerful hit engaging string in back 4-1, now it covers both sides when she's plus on you. Addy back 1 became a complete lockdown move in Tekken 8. This never happened before Tekken 8. That implies intentional design. So, in traditional Tekken, every single Kazuya down forward 1 variation is sidewalkable. Now, let's advance the clock until we reach Tekken 8. Let's see what happens with Kazuya down forward 1. In normal size male characters like Jin and Kazuya, down forward 1 in itself is a lockdown. You can't move Kazuya down forward 1. The just sidewalk left bro goes down the drain. It kills the layer 1 counterplay to Kazuya. This is a 15 frames mid. But you see, the problem is really not restricted to small Tekken alone. In Tekken 8, we also have to face the problem of axis autocorrecting.
November 15th? That's hilarious.
I'm plugging.
Superdimensioned Hitboxes. Man, this is disgusting.
Chat, we don't talk about it.
Huh? This game is so bad. This game is so fucking bad.
Superdimensioned Hurtbox expansion.
Shit. People try to tell me I'm chatting shit. I'm proving my own. What? Come on.
And also Big Tekken and the concept of Superbuttons. Now that I showed you examples in controlled environments that we talked about small Tekken, there are also severe problems when it comes to big Tekken. Let me give you crystal clear examples. Here's what we'll do. I'll show you the clip, then we'll break it down in forensic detail what happened, the intentions involved, how it happened, and why it happened. Then we'll compare it to a traditional Tekken experience. It's worth mentioning that this will make you guys go mental, so brace yourselves. So, what happened here exactly? We'll have to break it down piece by piece. And guys, I'm terribly sorry if my tone starts becoming more intense and seem more salty, more hostile. It's because I can't even, bro. I can't even. When you know the things I know, when you happen to actually know what this game used to be and what they have intentionally done with it, I just can't maintain my composure. And for that, I'm truly sorry, guys. No can do. Everything in this clip revolves around a desperate attempt to avoid the free win super button called Jun F2 1+2. I'm also terribly sorry for that, guys, but for me to be able to show the full picture, we'll have to dig deep, very deep. The only reason I will do this deep dive is that you, the spectator, can fully grasp the implications and consequences of the existence of super buttons in modern Tekken, and the deliberate effort from the devs behind how these super buttons came to be. So, with that in mind, here we go. First of all, I wasn't supposed to be clipped by Jun Magic 4. 11 frames. 12 frames Magic Force are supposed to be freaking linear. Let's replicate the situation. Since Jun FF3, her full screen homing mid was reanimated and gained a follow-up in Tekken 8 instead of the traditional knockdown, we can't use it to replicate the same situation. So we'll be making it even worse. Instead of +3, how about +5? In traditional Tekken, even a micro step should suffice to evade her Magic 4. So that covers Magic 4. It is not supposed to track to begin with. She should have been launched there. Instead, she tracked me because modern Tekken. But now we proceed to full madness. Now is where you, the spectator, will probably go mental. We'll cover Tekken 8 Jun F2 1+2. What is Jun F2 1+2? Tekken 8 Jun F2 1+2 is the most powerful big button ever conceived in Tekken history. It is a devastating, ultra-evasive mid-hit engager that casually evades mids, fully tracks the Kazama's weak side, and for some godforsaken reason in Tekken 8 also tracks the other side. This move is a devastating launcher in heat. I'll just leave this here for context, just so you can grasp the extent of the absurdity of what we are dealing with here. What the peak modern Tekken. So I can't launch her if I block it, I can't move, and if I go for the quintessential counter hit fishing keep out, I'm simply mid-crushed. And then I ask myself, how do you even lose with these characters? Nah, I know the truth. The truth is skill issue. Get good. Ah man, gotta love modern Tekken. Oh, 1+2 as well, nice. 1+2 as well, nice. Whenever Jun is in heat, you are a permanent hostage to this move. There is absolutely nothing you can do. Everything, every decision you make revolves around the existence of this move. All your priorities immediately shift to surviving this move, not letting this move hit you. These properties alone, when observed in isolation, would already make Jun F2 1+2 an S+ move. If you gave this move to any other character in the game, its properties alone would make it an S+ move. But it doesn't stop there. Hell no, it really doesn't stop there. Because we have to take into consideration context, and by context I mean the character in particular that is granted this move. What I mean by that is, this move is -9 on block. It is safe on block, but -9 doesn't have the same meaning and the same consequences, depending on the character you're using. A Kazuya -9 is not the same as a Xiaoyu -9. A Jin -9 is not the same as an Yoshimitsu -9, and is particularly not the same for a Jun -9. Conventionally, in Tekken, a -9 situation would make you assume your turn is essentially over. It is done. I do my homing mid. -9. My turn is over. And rightfully so, I went for a homing mid. So it is only natural that my opponent now gets to play. I have to take a 50-50. Conventionally, you're -9, your opponent gets to play. But this convention only exists on paper, and it doesn't universally apply to all characters in Tekken. Ultimately, I'm talking about anti-Tekken characters. Let me give you examples. As you can see, these conventions do not apply to anti-Tekken characters. Such is the case of Jun. And now we return to her, just so you can have a grasp of how apocalyptical this bullshit is. When Jun is minus and seemingly lost her turn, it is you who are in danger, not her. The moment Jun is minus on you, now you have to deal with the imminent threat of Jun's 5 frames barrier. Basically, it works like Yoshi Flash. They're different in nature, but their application is basically the same. The difference being, Jun's barrier is plus on block and basically safe on whiff.
Oh, you gotta be shitting me. What is that? What the hell is even that?
So, whenever she's minus on you, you have to take into account the possibility that the barrier will be there and kill you. These are the crimes she can commit if you go for lows. You go for your low, she can Kazama down 3+4 to jump your low in 5 frames. Always remember to immediately hold back when you go for a low against a Kazama. If you don't immediately hold back, you get launched, even if it's a punish and not a counter hit. She can also go for up forward 3+4 to crush highs, mids and lows simultaneously. She can also YOLO duck to access her game-breaking Kazama-powered down jab punish. This will punish every existing low in this game for 36 damage and a possible wall hit that can lead into a 96 damage wall combo. YOLO duck again, I don't care, I'ma do it again. I don't care, I'ma do it again. Totally not a super boss character. Totally not a super boss. She can also once again jump your lows in 5 frames with the Kazama 3+4. Hers will do even more damage because her Mystic Energy Gazer is also guaranteed on hit. So, for your mids, you have to intentionally restrict your options to tailor-made, dedicated, anti-barrier solutions. The difference being, your -9 is -9, unlike hers. If we take into account all these apocalyptical properties, you would obviously expect that there must be some form of consistent, tangible counterplay to such a powerful free win super button. Because if she can casually evade your mids and launch you, if she can fully track her weak side and launch you, and in case you happen to block this move, you are the one in trouble, not her. You would expect there has to be some form of counterplay, right? There has to be. It's basic game balancing, don't you agree? What I mean by that is, it is not in your best interest to get this move blocked. If you have conviction, the Jun player will use her free win, broken super button. You would naturally want to specifically move to the side this move is not supposed to cover, right? You would want to move away from this move specifically, right? You would do everything in your power to find a dedicated solution for this move. That is, sidewalk left, since it fully covers Jun's weak side. That is, sidestep right or sidewalk right. Turns out you could always easily, consistently sidewalk left this move before Tekken 8. Moreover, this move wasn't the free win super button that it is in Tekken 8. This move could not be abused indiscriminately because it was always freaking launch punishable on block. The Kazama F2 was always launch punishable. It was essentially a whiff punisher, and a great whiff punisher at that. But no more than a whiff punisher. Back then, you use this move, it gets blocked, you were dead. It's that simple. It wasn't the super-dimensioned offensive powerhouse it is now. Turns out, they decided for some godforsaken reason that they would intentionally boost the tracking of Jun F2 1+2 to cover the other side as well. And now I ask you, the spectator, why? Why would they do this? Can someone give me a feasible, acceptable reason for them to do this? Is there some justifiable reason to do this? Bear with me. I'm moving to Jun's strong side. I'm effectively killing myself in an attempt to respond to this specific move. What I'm doing is extremely risky, but it has to be done by force of necessity. Can someone please give me a reason they would do this other than following this sickening, cursed design philosophy that aims to directly favor the aggressor and completely restrict your options as a defender? Please, someone, give me a reason! I need to be proven wrong. I need the peace of mind of knowing the people in charge of this game are not literal psychopaths. Please, someone, anyone, give me this peace of mind if you can. And now, with this deep dive, you can finally understand how cursed this game truly is in terms of design philosophy. And if you still can't understand it, I mean the implication of the existence of these super buttons and how restricting defensive options is against the very idea of Tekken, then I'm truly sorry, no can do. If this still can't make you see it, then nothing can. But I'll proceed anyway, because there are still lots to talk about. By the way, guys, I need to make a disclaimer because I want to negate the possibility of bad actors to intentionally misinterpret my video once again, so that they can't mislead people into error this time. I need to prevent this from happening once again.
So this video is just basically him complaining about Steve.
So, before people claim, "Why are you attacking Jun? Why did you focus on Jun?" Yada yada yada. Let's clarify things. My intention was to give the most detailed coverage on the concept of super buttons in modern Tekken. When it comes to super buttons, I could have chosen so many characters as an example, as you can see. The reason I chose Jun F2 1+2 is that because I see it as the quintessential example of what is modern Tekken, the flawed design philosophy that comes with it. When you take into account all the stacked properties of this move, but more important than that, the deliberate intention from the devs to restrict defensive counterplay as much as possible and make an already existing move as superpowered as possible. So, for the haters and low IQ bad actors, good luck trying to deceive your audience this time. Since our main goal is to keep showing the ineffectiveness of lateral movement in Tekken 8, let's showcase another design philosophy failure. You have the infamous waifu slide. The power to completely skip neutral in Tekken. Visually, technically, they would work like a football slide tackle. The main difference being, a football slide tackle is not a freaking heat-seeking missile. A football slide tackle doesn't autocorrect its trajectory during the technique execution. Man, what is this? Fucking heat-seeking missile, man! Slides aren't supposed to behave like that. So, since waifus are endowed with high mobility moves, it is in your best interest that you keep constant movement to be able to respond to ultra long range moves such as FF3 or cartwheel, for example. Constant movement is a necessity here. Well, it would be a shame if a waifu slide behaves in a way that completely ignores your need for constant movement. Because they're not supposed to behave this way. It is so obvious and self-evident. It's worth mentioning that with the exception of Clive's slide, every single one of the waifu slides is a counter hit launcher. And yes, there will be the waifu advocates that will claim, oh, but they're launch punishable. Well, it's not that simple because the waifu slides have multiple active frames and therefore a variable frame situation on block and on hit, meaning the waifu slides become safer and safer and safer as they go on, to the point they can become near unpunishable or safe on block, with the exception of Nina, who can become -11 on block at best. You have to exercise extreme awareness when trying to punish this move. But here's the most disturbing fact about the waifu slides. Waifu slides are the Tekken equivalent to the Castlevania Crisegrim, a massive hitbox in front of you with multiple active frames. But here's the thing. Despite becoming safer and safer as the slide goes on, the counter hit property is maintained to the very last frame of the slide, when the slide is already completely losing its momentum, which wouldn't even cause damage, realistically speaking. Say a football player does a slide tackle very far away from you and it barely reaches you, it barely touches you. Will it hurt you? Of course not. So why is the waifu slide counter hit launching property maintained to the very last active frame if they become safer and safer and safer? So we have two unbalanced properties here. We have the ridiculous, unrealistic tracking property, and we have the counter hit launching property to the very last active frame. If they are unwilling to balance this lingering counter hit launching property, at the very least, slides should not track. As expected by a long-range move that presents itself visually with a linear trajectory, constant movement in itself should be able to suffice to completely negate the possibility of a slide. But of course, that is not what we have right now. What we have right now is chaos. Chaos and stupidity. Also, I want to remind you guys, this video is a joint effort. I'm not alone here. Because this is really not about me. The lack of effectiveness in defensive options in Tekken 8 doesn't only affect me, it affects the player base universally. Those who truly love the Tekken franchise and want to see Tekken 8 improved into a better, more legitimate, more fulfilling Tekken experience. So, I also caught some big shots, some Tekken friends to add to this project. Gabi and Guilherme also helped me in this project. You should really check out their channels, and if you can, subscribe to them. Since my PS3 recently broke, Guilherme provided the footage I needed for traditional Tekken, so you guys have him to thank for it. My friend Foloni also researched lateral movement in Tekken 8. He's one of the best, most accomplished, and most knowledgeable players in the region. Absolutely the best Paul and Leroy in the region. You guys should check out his stuff. Give him a follow on Twitter, and if you can, subscribe to his YouTube channel. I'll leave you with a preview of some of his research.
7.
Ah, mano, vai tomar no cu esse jogo do caralho.
Well guys, that covers it. Another day, another video, unraveling the lies and misinformation surrounding this game called Tekken 8. Now, if you happen to know anyone who advocates for Tekken 8 under the pretense that it has superior lateral movement and that therefore it is totally justifiable for the devs to have sabotaged backwards movement and essential whiff creation through backdashing in Tekken 8. If you know someone who keeps spreading this lie about a supposed superior lateral movement in Tekken 8, show him this video. Actually, shove it in his face, because he's either misinformed or misinforming. So, which one would it be? That's the looming question. Who has been deceived? And who is actually deceiving after all? In any case, this had to be done, because this lie, this misinformation has been hammered and hammered and hammered to such an extent, it became a false consensus, and it clouds people from having an actual discussion, an actual conversation about the issues of Tekken 8. That being said, guys, I thank you guys for all the kindness, all the support, and the recognition you guys have been giving me. My previous videos only went viral because of you guys. So the only thing I can ask is for you to share this content with your Tekken friends. Let them know what is truly happening so a widespread discussion can be started. Only then we can effect real change. If it comes to a point the discussion is so widespread that the Tekken devs can't ignore it, then my hope is that we can effect real change. The devs will have to improve the game by force of necessity. This project is still not over. There will be more videos in the future. But I need you guys to share this one. So please, let's make it happen. Share it with your Tekken friends. Share it on Tekken-related Discord servers. Share it on Tekken-related Reddit. Share it on Facebook. Or any Tekken-related social media you'd like. Once again, I thank you guys for all the kindness and support you give me. And we'll be seeing each other again. God bless.